News 13 has obtained an email sent out by an APD lieutenant on city email steering officers to a controversial class.
Yeah, get this. The class is called the Bulletproof Mind. Look at this.
Are you prepared? Are you prepared for battle?
Lieutenant Fernando Aragon's wife helps run the business that offers the class, and retired Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman here puts the class on. He calls himself, and I quote here, the world's leading combat authority and founder of Killology, the study of killing. Well, all of this comes out just 9 days after the city signed its agreement with the federal government, vowing to move away from APD's aggressive culture. The ACLU director here, Peter Simonson, says he is concerned someone in a leadership position at APD sent this email.
I think at this point in time, when reform is in the forefront of everybody's mind, we want to do everything we can to break down a model that equates police work with war, and this training clearly does that.
So we went and asked the mayor and the police chief about a lieutenant using his work email to push a class that seems to fly in the face of the new APD. They both say the department does not endorse or sponsor the training, and they'll look into the email. Like Sheriff's deputy accused in a hit-and-run crash is off the job this morning. Carolyn Smith-Newman has resigned from the Eddy County Sheriff's Department. According to a police report we got a hold of, the other driver says Newman rear-ended him, cussed him out, then sped off. Well, she denied being involved in the crash, but investigators say damage on her truck is consistent with the crash. And a police officer accused of using excessive force here is back on the job. You might remember this video from August. Jorge Corona was handcuffed after Clovis police officer Brent Aguilar says he refused to hand over his ID. Video then shows the officer right here slamming Corona to the ground. The officer, Aguilar, claims Corona resisted arrest, and he believed that Corona was about to turn around and put the officer in danger. We have now learned Officer Aguilar will not face any charges. His lawyer is not saying why. However, we do know the FBI is still looking into this case. Crystal?
Some say she's one of the best players, but now she's off the women's UNM basketball team. Coach Yvonne Sanchez says Ebony Walker is no longer a Lobo basketball player. Walker is accused of throwing a knife at her boyfriend during a fight at her off-campus apartment. She's been suspended from the team since her arrest for domestic violence charges a couple of weeks ago. Walker was a prep star at Sandia, will graduate in December. Okay, it sounds believable, but don't fall for this call. Take a listen.
Thank you for calling the Special Olympics Donor Services Division.
Now, someone is using a local number to get money by pretending to be a representative for the Special Olympics. The actual Special Olympics says don't fall for it, and if you're ever leery about a phone call, hang up, then call the organization's direct office line.
Well, since we first told you of the risky investments the Bernalillo County Treasurer made, taxpayers have lost millions. The county's investment officer quit his job, and auditors have been poring over these investment records. Well, now a new independent review of the Treasurer's investment shows Patrick Padilla and Manny Ortiz made nearly $1 billion worth of investments where they were not able to show much in the way of proof that they were looking out for taxpayers. In fact, auditors suggest the pair often seem to be directing investments toward their favored brokers. What's more, the audit says former treasurer Patrick Padilla asked some of those brokers to sponsor a golf tournament.
He's not tasked to be running a snack bar. He's tasked to be managing hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars.
The audit also says Mr. Padilla used county employees to run personal errands on public time. Our Matt Grubbs has much more on special assignment. He's been watching this story for a while. You can check this out tonight at 9 on 2 Casa or anytime at KRQE.com. 6:36 now, a multi-million-dollar road project is on the way to Rio Rancho.
Yeah, but before those orange barrels go up, city officials want your input. News 13's Catherine Rizzone is live at Adelia and 528 in Rio Rancho with what we know so far and how much the project is expected to cost. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Crystal, Matt. City officials in Rio Rancho say the project, they've already set aside $10 million for it. Now, Rio Rancho residents are expected to pay the rest. That's $2 million, but they've already paid it in a 2009 bond. City officials say it's well worth it. Well, that's because they say there's just too much traffic for Adelia. It's reached the end of its life. Rio Rancho officials say the pavement needs to be repaired and replaced. It's become a high-traveled area, and now Rio Rancho wants to expand it. The portion of Adelia that could be changed stretches from Highway 528 to Iris Road. In April, the city discussed several options. Each would add bike lanes, curbs, and sidewalks. Option 3 could add an additional lane for each direction, turning Adelia into a 4-lane road. But adding more lanes for cars, bikers, and pedestrians is only part of the proposed project. Officials say there's a big need for storm drains in the area. Sanitary sewer and water line improvements are also part of the plan. Now, the city of Rio Rancho's public works director says that there's just more traffic than when they first paved the road. The proposed improvements will also take into account future growth. Now, all of this will be discussed at tonight's meeting. Back to you.
All right, thanks for that information, Catherine. Now, city officials want to hear from you at tonight's meeting before the project is finalized and it goes out to bid. The meeting is from 6 to 7:30 at Rio Rancho City Hall. That's at 3200 Civic Center Circle. One of the busiest intersections in Albuquerque is getting too busy, but the city says it can fix it. The Coors Corridor plan includes fixing the intersection at Coors and Montano and an 11-mile stretch of Coors, but right now it's just an idea that calls for bus rapid transit down Coors and makes the road more bicycle and pedestrian friendly. It would also include making one street go over the other.
One of the concepts in the plan is an interchange at Coors and Montano to separate the traffic on Coors from the traffic on Montano to ease congestion there.
Now, once the draft is done, it will go before the Environmental Planning Commission. Then City Council needs to approve it. If a plan is approved, it could still be 10 years before they actually break ground.
That's a long way away.
That is a long time.
So that's about 25 years before it actually gets done.
Correct?
I'm kidding.
Because it'll take a long time. It seems like it's similar to the Paseo project, the flyover.
It is. That would be awesome right there. The Paseo project, you got to give them credit. They're moving that thing along really quickly.
Almost
It'll be
done
done by December, or by Christmas, I should say.